It's April 20th, 420. Smoke 'em if you got 'em. Time for another edition of Fast Break Bets. We're here with Erik from eTop21 Sports, Gino and we're getting ready to talk about some game threes tonight, Erik. We're looking at the lines over at DRF Sportsbook. If you're in Iowa, we encourage you to sign up and to play over at DRF Sportsbook. And then we'll talk a little bit about Thrive Fantasy. You can see some of the details on the bottom of the screen. Thrive Fantasy is a daily fantasy website where you can play in contests every day. You can wager on props. As long as you can connect two props together, you can play prop parlays, even in states like California and Texas. So we'll give you some opportunities to find ways you can get some action on the three games tonight, Erik, and all three of them games shifting home for the first time for the teams that played their first two on the road. So tonight we'll open up with Brooklyn getting their home game against Philly. Brooklyn's down 0-2. I think you played them the other day. They were a 10.5 point dog. They lost by 12, just a bucket. So not the greatest result there, and one that definitely could have gone your way as far as covering the spread. But with a team like Brooklyn, I think what we're going to see with Golden State, and honestly, the Clippers are in a little different situation, I guess, because they're tied instead of down 0-2. But these teams that are down 0-2 going home now, this is it for you.
Yeah.
You're not coming back from down 0-3. You have to come out and give your absolute max effort. We saw it last night, even in the Lakers game against Memphis, and in listening to some of the post-game stuff and hearing some of the folks that were covering the game and that were around it, you could just see that Memphis was playing last night with such a desperation, such a different feel, because they felt like they can't go down 0-2 and then have to go on the road. You know, it's going to be difficult situation for them. So I really, truly feel like in a couple of these games, we are going to see a different level of energy from these home teams now, basically playing for their season. So for me, Erik, I think we both have a lot of similarities. And real quick, I know I've already started talking about these games, but what did you finish last night? Because you had a fantastic night. And
I was pretty good. The only one that I lost,
I think you had one loss.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
7-1.
6-1.
Okay, I thought you had one loss on the night.
Brooks over 14.5. Only loss. Like, he had a shot at a three toward the end.
He did.
Foul trouble and shot absolute garbage and still a chance to go over.
And Brooks is doing some poking. He's doing a little poking right now. He's poking the bear. He even said, "I like to poke bears." So we'll see how that results.
I was talking about somebody, like, during someone, who played in the league, who knows LeBron, and he was talking. He goes, the funny thing is LeBron would absolutely love it if Dylan Brooks was on the Lakers right now. He would absolutely love it if they played. So I mean, that was a good point that no one seems to talk about. Like, LeBron would love to have a guy like that suit up next.
Those are the types of guys, like, you like when they're on your team. The thing I don't like, I kind of I put him in the Draymond, Patrick Beverley sort of category. The only thing is, and I think you're probably this way too, when you're playing with them day in and day out, you sort of understand how they are, and sometimes they kind of play up that role, like that villain role, and we know when you're traveling with the guys and stuff, they're not always just an ass, right? Like, nobody's just an ass all the time, like they kind of play up on camera. But just sometimes as a fan, like, and Brooks, he did a good job there tonight. He's a good defender. He's not a defensive player of the year, but he's a very good defender, and he actually has a better offensive game than people give him credit for. I think people forget that the guy can actually score more. He's just become a poor shot taker, right? He doesn't make great decisions. That's the problem with Brooks, is that he takes them at the wrong time, the wrong moment. 18 seconds left on the shot clock, he comes up and fires away, just a bad three. That's the problem with Brooks. Not that he doesn't have the skills. It's not like he's offensively impaired, right? Like, he has some offensive game. He's a bad decision maker. some of those times you wonder if, like, man, you always got to talk after the game. You always got to do a little extra, a little bit with a guy like Drake.
He's talking during it too. So
right? No, and he is. He's talking during it, and now you just hope that he doesn't get LeBron a little bit more motivated, because LeBron's numbers look way better than he's played. And we're going to talk about, the more extreme and better version of Dylan Brooks in a minute, and Draymond, who won't be there to help his team a little later on today. But Erik, I mean, for me, we have similar plays right off the bat in here. Actually, we have the two almost identical plays in this game. I went first half money line on the Nets, which is plus 112. I just think they'll be leading at the first half. I truly do not trust them overall, though. I really think that Philly's a better team, and Philly's one of those teams that could come out, play a lazy first half, and then still probably win the game. So I'm going to play the Nets to be up at halftime on the money line, plus 112. Your analysis and you landed you in a similar type play. You just took the points here.
Yeah, I took I found him at plus, 2.5 for the first half. I wanted to play him for the full game, but kind of looking at it, the last two games closed at 10, and now you're going home. You lost by double digits, and you're getting a 5.5 point tax on the spread. That just seems a little bit too much. That's why I looked for the first half. Dug into it the last 15 years, teams going home down 0-2 or 63% against the number in the first half. I expect they're playing for their season, because if they lose this game, they're going to go down. The 76ers, for as talented and for as much talent as they have, with Maxey, Harris, and Embiid, I just don't trust them. You know what I mean? There's just something about this team.
They're not going to come and put your foot on your throat, right? That's not how they're built either. So Erik and I are both on the first half, and we're both on, again, Harden under 19.5. Erik, I think this number is still high based off of like our old perception of James Harden. And when you just look at some of his recent play, like, he only averaged 21 points this year. And when you go into his game log, the last third of the year, he was not scoring a whole lot. He was not shooting well. Recently, he hit 23 points in game one, in a game where he hit 7 threes. He was 7 of 13 from 3. Prior to that, in the last part of the year, he shot really, really poorly. He only topped 20 points 3 times in his final 12 games. And that's the number that he would need to hit to go over here. We're under 20, right? Like, that's what we are. So we're, again, going to keep riding this until we feel like it should be where it is. To me, this is probably a number that should settle closer to like 17 right now.
Yeah, I mean, he's obviously not 100%. He's not attacking the rim. He's not getting to the free throw line. This is basically, you're just playing a mid-range 3-point number with Harden at 19.5. He had 8 points last game, well under when we're on that 20.5. Only went down 1 point. Same thing. I'm gonna be on it. I just think this number's too high. I think this number should be around 15.5, to be honest with you, with how he's playing and how he's not attacking the rim and how he's not getting the free throw line. Plus, like we said, he's obviously not 100%. So Harden under the 19.5.
Erik and I both on the same page in this first game. Nets on the first half. I'll take the money line. Erik takes the points, and then we both go Harden under the 19.5 points. And we move. Anything else you want to talk about? Game one?
I will say this: if the Nets are winning at halftime, and there's a situation where I can get plus 120 or more on the Sixers live, I would buy in on that.
The second game today, Sacramento has the defending champs on the ropes. Golden State is down 0-2, but they do head home. Remember, they were a miserable road team this year. They were 11-30 on the road, just awful. But they will be playing without Draymond Green. So not easy when you're basically playing without your best defender, the guy that makes everything move. He gets the ball to Steph in the right spot. He gets the ball to Clay in the right spot. Now, Sabonis definitely grabbed Draymond's leg. right? There's no debating that. Like Sabonis made the first move when that happened. He grabbed his leg. Draymond pulled the Seth Rollins WWE stomp on him right afterwards. And then even more, I know they don't look into this when they're deciding if they're going to suspend him or not. Obviously, Draymond has a history. It's like, Erik, if you do something wrong and you'd probably just walk off the court and not make it worse. But like
Correct.
He stands there for 2 minutes and he's screaming and like at all the fans, like literally like a bad guy wrestler, so much that like Steve Kerr can't even get his own team in a huddle to talk because Draymond is going nuts and the crowd, and he's going like this to the crowd. And is there a moment where that becomes too much? Because I don't know if you've heard some of the leaked stuff. Like Steve Kerr seems like he might be done with this.
Yeah, I mean, they're in a huge salary cap situation. Draymond has been great, but he is getting a little bit up there in age, and he's not as explosive as a defender as he used to be. I will say this. I saw a video from JJ Redick that was on TikTok the other day, and I kind of agree with him. I think the Kings, part of their game plan was kind of to bait Draymond into doing this. They showed a replay in game one where
they grabbed him on the leg, the same thing in game one, right?
Yep, they threw him down. Monk did it once. Sabonis actually tackled him to the ground once. It's like they were trying to do this, and they got this. I look at it like this, though. I have the same idea almost as the Bucks last night that I'm doing with this game. I'm playing the Warriors minus the 1.5 for the first quarter, minus the 3.5 for the first half.
And I'm on you with the first half again, too.
This team is completely night and day when they're home. I get that Green's not going to be there, but with Green not going to be there, I really think, and Looney kind of struggling with everything, I think that's actually may help them because they're going to play Kuminga. They're going to play Moody, two younger guys.
I couldn't find any Kuminga props. I wanted to find some Kuminga props. There's nowhere, not even on Thrive. I couldn't find him anywhere.
And, play Wiggins. Sabonis, for as good as Sabonis is, he's really a lackluster defender, and his footwork really does stink. If they can draw him away, force him to play a little bit more on the perimeter, I think that is going to be good. I will say this, though. I do think 6 is a little too big of a number.
Yeah, I didn't like the full number either.
That's why I just played the first half and the first quarter, just because I expect they're going to feed off the energy. And one thing we need to remember is the core group of the Sacramento Kings. This is their first road playoff game. Like, we really don't, for as good as Fox looked, that was a home game. We don't know how he's going to react on the road. Sabonis looked awful in that first game. Was that what the Warriors were doing, or was that nerves? And how is he going to do in his first road game? The only people that really have the playoff experience that get minutes with those guys are Harrison Barnes and Kevin Huerter. So it is a young team, very unexperienced. They could get the deer in headlights look tonight, but that 6 is too much. That's why I played the first half and the first quarter for the Warriors.
This would be, just thinking about it, this would be a really bad series to lose for Sacramento. Just right now, coming into this game up 2-0 with Draymond out in game 3, like you would really feel like, damn, if you looked back on this series and you end up losing it, you would really feel like you had a great opportunity to get the better of the Warriors here. I'm in agreement.
Team, you have to take advantage of them because these
teams,
and windows shut quickly. Remember, Atlanta was up 3-2 with no Giannis.
In the Eastern Conference Finals.
In the Eastern Conference Final. And they,
and now look where they are.
Now they're like talking about trading Trae Young. So stuff can turn real quickly. So the Sacramento Kings,
because you could break this. This is a moment, like today could be a moment we're talking about the end of this Warriors team.
Yeah.
Like
and
tonight.
Obviously, Mr. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's because like you mentioned the salary cap. Poole's contract kicks in next year, which is going to go down as being one of the worst contracts in the league because
Duncan
you're paying
Robinson,
you're paying a guy who can only play one way and not even every night one way. Wiggins extension kicks in. Clay is going to be making a ton of money. They're going to be in a little bit of trouble, but you win tonight, you win your home game, and then all of a sudden you put the pressure back on Sacramento now because you're tied 2-2. They feel like, oh no, we squandered it. So Erik and I both think at least a big first half from the Warriors, and you're also going Wiggins kind of needing to fill in a little bit more for Draymond.
I look at this, the two Wiggins props. The first one I'm playing is the over 6.5. Last year in the playoff, he averaged 7.5 rebounds per game last year in the playoffs. The one game this year that he played when there was no Green and he was on the court, he got 8. He's averaging in the 2 games 10.5 rebounding chances per game. That's third most behind Looney and Green. Green has 14 rebound chances per game. Basically, just simple math, that means there's 14 rebounds that's going to be up for grab for the people that are playing. If I think the Warriors are going to go small and have Wiggins may play the 5 for as all I know, or Kuminga may play the 5. This is going to lead to him getting more of those 14 open rebounds that are going to be there. And then he's going to get over 10 points. He's averaging, I think his prop for points is like 15, 16.5. He's going to get over 10 points. If I think he's going to have many rebounds, I'm seeing a double-double price at close to 4-1 at plus 390. Just makes sense for me instead of playing a juiced rebounding prop. Take a better number with the double-double.
Wiggins double-double. Wiggins over 6.5 for Erik. That's game 2 of our 3 games tonight. We move to the final of the 3. Clippers heading back home, playing the Suns. And the Suns are favored on the road in this game. Phoenix a 3-point favorite on the road, over under 227. Erik, game 1, Phoenix kind of got punched. And game 2, they bounced back, played a little bit better. But I just am not impressed overall with the depth of Phoenix in watching them. I think this is going to be a series. I really do. Kawhi's continued to play very, very well. And I think in this particular game, heading back home, I played the Clippers on the money line, and you are also on the same boat here. You're going Clippers plus the 3. Talk to us about some of the things you've seen in these first couple games and what you think might play out today.
Looking at it, shot quality has the Suns due for some regression shooting, and the Clippers, namely Norman Powell, due for some positive shooting regression. I mean, let's face it, Ayton's not going to go 7-10. I think it was Ayton, Paul, Durant, and Booker all shot over 50% combined. That is going to go down. Lue has a huge coaching advantage. We've seen this with Ty Lue coach teams before. Win a game on the road, lose the next game, come home, massive adjustment with the X's and O's, win that next game. Clippers very good at drawing fouls. They go to the free throw line, top 3 rate in the league. Suns do foul a lot. You're going to get that home whistle. I think the Clippers are going to be able to get some points on the free throw line. Who's going to stop Kawhi? They really have nobody on their team.
No, they don't.
The lack of depth that can stop Kawhi. They're starting Torrey Craig
to try to get him some minutes on Kawhi,
which doesn't make sense. Clippers 7-2 this year after an ATS loss. I like the Clippers here to bounce back. They just have way more going on. And I really think Norman Powell is going to bounce back per shot quality. He's due for a huge step up in game. You just kind of look at it. No Paul. He averaged 17 points a game, shot 48% from the floor and 40% from 3-point range through 2 games in this series. He's only averaging 13 points a game, shooting 43% and shooting an abysmal 14% from deep. I think going home, getting those home rims, I think it's going to be a big relief for Powell. So I'm going to play his over. I expect a big bounce back game from him.
Couple plays in the Clippers game, all on the Clippers side. Powell over the points. Erik and I both play in the Clippers tonight. I'll take the money line. Erik on the Clippers plus the 3 points. Erik, we all feel like the home teams bounce back tonight. We'll play the first two in the first half, and then we actually play the Clippers in the overall game. So lots of similarities from our plays tonight, kind of seeing these series the same way, hoping that that they become series, especially with Golden State and Brooklyn coming out tonight with an inspired performance in that first half. So, Erik, let's shift on over and talk a little Thrive Fantasy as we pull up the Thrive Fantasy website. I'll bring up the details again one more time. You can play in Thrive Fantasy contest each and every day, any sport that you want. You can play props where you just connect 2, 3, 4, 5 props together. You can win 3 times, 5 times, 10 times, or 20 times your entry. Anything from $1 all the way up to $1,000 putting together your props. So, Erik, what were you looking at today for Thrive Fantasy?
Obviously the Harden under 19.5. That's one of the
same one, right? We got to both roll to that one. It was 19.5. Yep.
Obviously like that one. Wiggins, his prop on books for rebounds is 6.5, but his prop on Thrive for assists and rebounds is 6.5. So, he's going to get probably a couple assists, going to get rebounds. I'm betting a double-double. So if I bet a double-double, I think he's going to get 10 rebounds in the game. So if that's the case, he should easily be able to go over the 6.5 combined assist and rebounds. And the last one I got, the Norman Powell over points and assists. This one absolutely blew my mind when I was looking at it. There was 60 games this year that he played where there was no Paul George. Do you care to guess how many games in those 60 he did not go over this number?
I wouldn't say too many, right? 5?
4.
Wow.
So I kind of think that's a little bit of a mispriced. I mean, obviously 16.5, he could easily go over this in
just the points
alone. He's averaging 19.7 points and 2 assists per game when George doesn't play. So yeah, I like the over 16.5. I did a nice little 2-teamer on here earlier in the day. I did the Harden under and the Powell over as my two picks to put in my Thrive parlay.
For me, Harden was the one, and then the other for me was just Looney. Looney's a block and a half, blocking 1.5 stocks, blocks and steals together. So Looney he's been in a little bit of foul trouble in both games, but he had 1 and 2 in his 2 games for this number. Like you said, they're going to have to go a little smaller overall because there's not Draymond. That'll bring Kuminga in. That'll bring some of the others in. If Sabonis is playing, Looney's on him and doing a pretty good job on Sabonis, because what Looney doesn't do, Looney isn't a jumper, right? He's not really trying to leap. He just sort of stands there. He doesn't go for a lot of Sabonis's like head fakes and up fakes and stuff. He just sort of stands and holds his ground. All we need here is Erik is like a little friendlier whistle at home, right? 1 or 2 more of those plays that he's going for down low. He doesn't get called for a foul, and he just gets to be in the game a little bit longer. So for me, I went 1.5 blocks and steals over for Looney. Remember to use the promo code GINO when you get to thrivefantasy.com. Deposit at least $25, anything up to $250, and you will get a match deposit bonus on your deposit. Use the promo code GINO. So today is Thursday, Erik. We'll be back tomorrow, Friday. We recorded a little early today, but we can be live tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. So for any of you that are watching, we'd love to hear from you. Come and join us on the YouTube channels, on Erik's YouTube channel or on mine, and leave us your questions, your comments, selections, your best bets, any props that you might be looking at. If you have a question about a Thrive Fantasy prop or a betting line or anything at all, we'd love to hear from you. Even the I Hate Lakers one out there. We can hear from them too. Erik, no problem.
He was on my stream, and his comment was, let Gino know Memphis rolls in game 2.
There we go. Well, good call on that one. And Erik and I will be back talking tomorrow, 5:00 p.m. Eastern time, 2 p.m. Pacific time. We'll have another couple basketball games to discuss. And then Saturday, Sunday, 4 games. Another full slate of games on both Saturday and Sunday. Good luck to everyone. make sure to head to DRF Sportsbook or to DRF Bets to make your wagers if you're a horse racing fan. We'll have some direct links coming for you soon where you can click right to DRF Bets and DRF Sportsbook if you want to go sign up and play along. So, Erik, good luck to you, buddy. Thanks so much, everyone, for hanging out with us, and we'll see you again tomorrow on Fast Break.